The Adepts, Some Objections and Answers to Them by William Quan Judge, read by Dave Marsland of Cardiff Theosophical Society. This article was published in the Path magazine of January 1893. The Adepts, Some Objections and Answers to Them. In this, I propose to give but the condensed form of some objections made to the theory of the existence of the Adepts, and of the answers which might be made. The objections are variously founded, applying as well to the names Masters and Mahatmas as to other designations. Masters is objectionable because contrary to republicanism or democracy or individualism. But master comes from magister, who is a teacher, an expounder as well as applier of the law, hence magistrate. Everyone, in fact, has a master, whether it be physically, mentally or morally, and in this objection is the old and foolish exhibition of contempt for regulations of a government from which America escaped long ago. The objector has never seen an adept. This would apply equally to the assertion of the existence of Napoleon or any other character one has not seen, and with more force. For there was but one Napoleon, while there have been and are many adepts. The ancients all relate histories of adepts. The Hindus of today do the same. Many of the writers of the Middle Ages and the traditions of the same period speak of them as accepted facts. The traditions of all countries not so new as this give similar testimony. The Chinese, Tibetans, Burmese and other Oriental people tell of such personages, while Chinese, Buddhist and Hindu literature teems with testimony. Hence, to support the doctrine, there is a mass of human testimony larger than that which declares that Bonaparte once dominated Europe. Lastly, several reputable Europeans and Americans, members of the Theosophical Society, affirm on their knowledge the existence of these adepts. The modern critic says, first, why do not these adepts come out to satisfy curiosity if they are men? This question is out of the same spirit that creates the sensational, vulgar and prying newspaper which spreads before the public, because it is called for by the public, the private details of everyone's existence. Second, why not appear and destroy evil if they have great powers? The adepts have replied that there is no power to destroy the evil man has produced, but in the efforts he himself makes for purification. Thirdly, why not come and wipe out abuses? Fourthly, why not multiply food in famine time? Other replies to these may be thus tabulated. A. The nature of humanity at present is a product of evolution, and only evolution conducted in an orderly manner can alter by perfecting, refining and purging. B. It is ridiculous for the Western nations to demand that the adept shall multiply food, when everyone knows there is at all times enough food in hand, either unused or locked up by men of greed to feed all the hungry. C. If food were multiplied thus in the Western world, those who did it would be imprisoned and classed as criminal, for inevitably either the food would be said to have been stolen, or else the charge of interfering with trade would follow. In Berlin in 1892, the starving people took bread from the shops and were punished for theft. The moral and conclusion are obviously against the objector. D. No one can disprove the claim made that adepts have multiplied food in famine times in eastern lands, where condemnation and persecution do not follow the act. E. Admitting that the adepts have great powers, they have disclaimed the power to alter human nature in any other way than through the process of evolution, and always strictly under a rigid law of justice. F. The adepts do not yet appear publicly and proclaim themselves to the world for reasons found in the above replies. and also because the cycle must run its course, since if they proclaim themselves out of time, a wrong result would be produced, just as a note, good in itself, is a producer of discord when sounded out of time, place or tune. This reason is the reason deduced from the law of cycles. What then are the adepts doing? Not possibly could all their work be stated, but for a part A, assisting all good movements by acting on men from behind the scenes through mental influence. B, preparing as many men and women who are fit for it so that they may, in their next incarnation, appear in the world as active devotees to the good of the human family. C, spreading now, through impulses given in many places which must not be mentioned, a philosophy of life which will gradually affect the race mind, and in particular the active, conquering Western peoples, thus preparing the whole people to change and evolve yet further and further until evil disappears and better days and people reappear.